2016 could be called the year of change in service rifle competition. The rules have been radically altered to allow the use of optical sights in tournaments. Over the course of the shooting season, I have watched various shooters mount scopes on their rifles. I've watched them shoot, looked at their targets, and talked to them about their experiences. All of this has led me to believe that, in many situations, the rifle with optical sights will provide a significant advantage to one with metallic sights. Not every match, not every shooter, not every condition. But overall, I feel that I'm giving up points to other shooters of similar ability who have chosen to use a scope. In light of all this, I asked White Oak Armament to build me a service rifle that is set up for mounting an optical sight. This video is the story of me shooting this rifle for the first time in a match. First, let me run down some of the technical aspects of the rifle. I took one of my existing lowers and had White Oak modify it for a right-hand bolt release. They also replaced the existing trigger with a Geisley Automatic service rifle trigger. The original A2 buttstock was removed and replaced with a Magpul UBR adjustable buttstock. The upper receiver assembly is all brand new with a White Oak stainless steel barrel. This is a loopholed fixed 4-power scope with 33mm objective lens. This particular scope is actually a prototype built by Leupold to White Oak's specifications. The reticle is a relatively small dot with thin crosshairs. At 200 yards, the dot is approximately the size of the 3-inch spotting disc. Since I don't really get caught up in the minutiae of equipment for high power, I didn't specify any of this equipment. This is just what John at White Oak thought was appropriate for an optics newbie such as myself. So now that I have a fancy new rifle, let's go see if I can hit anything with it. The first thing that I had to get used to was not having the top edge of a post to try to put in the middle of the target. Instead, I found myself just seeing the dot and trying to put that in the middle of the block. Since I could see the target rings, I would try to position the dot to cover the X-ring and break the shot. After a few shots, I didn't really pay any attention to the crosshairs at all. My movement in standing is the same as before. It's just that with the scope, that movement becomes front and center. Since I consider the decision-making process to be the key for standing, that means the opportunity to fire the shot is still the same. It just seems much more fleeting. At least until I get used to the movement.
What? No, don't put it through my spotter.
Sorry. 7 o'clock.
Now there you go, Tim. Put it through the spotter there that time. 10 at 6.
Yeah, good call. 2 o'clock. I might have clipped the spotter.
You got nowhere near my spotter.
Oh, come on. Give me something.
You're lucky it's on the same target as my spotter.
Oh.
With iron sights, my calls and standing have usually been pretty good. With optics, I was amazed at how much better they were on most shots. Now, it becomes so much easier to discern an outside 10 from a mid-ring 10, for example. I was especially impressed with how much better I could differentiate an X from a 10.
So 10 at 12.
3 o'clock outside.
It's an X.
All right.
Looked like an X. And it is an X.
Yes, it is.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Out of these 20 shots, I had a very off-call 8 early on, and 3 9s. The second half was especially promising as half the shots were X's.
And I get the 9.
The transition between stages was a particular challenge. There seem to be so many more things that have to be done with a scoped rifle. I have to take the protective caps off the sight knobs. The sights have to be adjusted in the opposite direction from my previous rifle. The knob dedents are much finer on the scope, and it takes a careful touch to make sure that they turn the correct number of clicks. There are lines on the knobs, but I'm not used to using them yet. And after putting a 0 on the scope, I have to be careful not to turn the knobs accidentally. Before each stage, I found myself checking the knob position over and over again. I am still trying to get used to having the bolt release on the right side of the receiver. In slow prone, I could see my pulse through the scope. Because of this, I would try to time my trigger brake to coincide with the dot moving into the X-ring. After I was done shooting, I noticed that my sling was almost severed. I'm surprised it was even holding up the rifle. The first match with the scope had mixed results. I didn't shoot any better or worse in standing, and the improved vision helped in sitting. A lack of 0 in rapid prone really hurt me. The first string had a high group, although I was able to clean the second. I had off-call shots in slow prone, but it's difficult to tell if this was due to my deteriorating sling or to poor marksmanship. I'll continue to shoot this rifle in the few remaining matches this year. We'll see how it goes.